Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and you are listening to another episode of the world famous The University of Love, the best podcast in one, two, three galaxies. Boop, 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 boop. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just called this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Monday, March the 24th, 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in, come on in, come on in. We have a very exciting show for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, we are going to say if you have any thoughts about starting a podcast, if you have any ideas about starting a YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to need to check in, okay? I don't know if you noticed, ladies and gentlemen, but I just last week a friend of mine, we was having a discussion, and he was telling me that some people in LA apparently they went on the podcast talking about criminal activities and whatnot, and of course they got picked up. Well, the federal government said, "Hey, we need to talk to y'all. Come on in, turn yourselves in. You are getting indicted." Okay, so these people apparently it's a gang called the Rolling Sixties, which I don't know if you notice or not, ladies and gentlemen. Being in a gang is it's a silly thought, it's a silly idea. You know, Crip, Blood, it's all nonsense, it's all BS. But apparently, some of these people had celebrities and athletes checking in to certain cities. Now, I've heard of this before. Certain cities apparently you have to check in. I don't know if you know this or not, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if this applies to me and you. The rest of us, we can roam any city, anytime, anywhere as freely as possible. But I guess for celebrities and athletes, they must do the check in policy. So, ladies and gentlemen, you and I am going to start a podcast gang. We're gonna call it PG, and we're gonna make sure that everybody checks in. So if you have a podcast, you're thinking about starting a podcast, uh, you're gonna have to check in with us first. If not, there will be consequences, repercussions. Not really, but still, I say all that to say, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you before, gangs and all that it's all a big waste of time. It's all nonsense. It's all silliness. But ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about something very important, more important than checking in into a city that people don't own. People don't own. Okay. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about the parables of the talents. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not a reader of the Bible, you can then that's okay, because this applies to all of us. Okay, and the reason why I bring this up is because, of course, as you all know, I go to church, I read the Bible quite a bit, um, and this is just a lesson that all of us can learn from. Okay. In the parable of the talents, we're gonna sum this up real easy. There was a guy, and he was going to be gone for a long time, and he said he had 3 servants, and he said, "All right, my good servants, I am going away on a trip, but I want you guys to have these talents, use them, blah 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 blah." And so he gave the first guy 5 talents. He gave the second guy two talents. He gave the third guy 1 talent, And of course the first guy, master left, he used his talent, double the talents, and then by the time the master came back, instead of having 5 talents, he had 10 talents. The second guy, he used his 2 talents, used all his talents for all he could, and and then he doubled it. He had 4 talents. The third guy, he took the talent, He said Master was a mean guy. He took his talent, dug a hole real deep, buried it, and waited for Master to get back. And of course, Master came back. He came back. He wanted to see his servants, and he said, "Hey, how'd you do?" And the first guy said, "Oh man, I took these 5 talents, I doubled them, I got 10." And the guy said, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Second guy, he said, "Hey, I doubled them, got 4 now." He said, "Good job, well done." And the third guy, of course, he said, "Hey, you're a mean guy. You got an attitude. I didn't sow these talents, so I didn't sow nor reap these talents. I dug a hole, buried it." And of course, the guy thought he was gonna be happy, and he said, "You are a lazy python." Okay, just to sum it up, he basically said, "You're a sloth. You're lazy. You're no good. Get him out of my face." Ladies and gentlemen, all that means is we all have a talent. Okay, we all have gifts, and whether you recognize them or not, you know, the good Lord has blessed you with talent, or the good Lord, or whatever you want to believe, or whatever you want to believe, um, brought you to this earth. Okay, but you have all the talent in the world. A lot of times we don't recognize our own talent. We don't recognize our own gifts. Okay. A lot of times, a lot of people go through life just floating through air, not capitalizing on the talent that they have been blessed with. Okay. Some of you are great painters. Some of you are great writers. Some of you have the ability to help thousands and thousands of people, but some of you would never achieve these things because you're not gonna go out and put out the effort, or some of you are never going to explore the talents because you think, "Oh, I'm not gifted, I'm not." We all have ability, okay? We all have capabilities. We all have something in us that we can be great at. And a lot of times we don't we don't we don't tap into that. It's just like whenever I talk to my brother, he has abilities, he has capabilities. He will never achieve those because he would not he does not give out the maximum effort when it comes to trying to find his talent, trying to find his gift, trying to find his purpose. Now, you know, you ne- and the reason why my brother will not is because my brother is so focused on somebody, him having a job and him not getting paid as much. He my brother is one of these people. He wants to make $1 million. He wants to invest no time in himself and getting better at whatever it is he does. He doesn't want to be a manager. He doesn't want to be a leader. My brother wants $1 million. He wants to do a job where he doesn't have a lot of responsibility. And my brother wants to get off in like 6 to 7 hours. Now, that sounds crazy to you. It sounds crazy to me, but to my brother, he's like, "Man, they're not paying me enough." My brother worked at a job. He got fired from a job, went to the next job, complained loudly that they wasn't paying him enough. And finally, the people, they got so fed up with my brother, they walked him out of the door. Instead of my brother saying, if I want to make X, Y, and Z, what can I do to start making X, Y, and Z? My brother said, "No, these people are not paying me enough. These people suck." And And that was his bone of contention. He just kept saying, no, these people suck. They don't want to pay me. They don't want to pay me. They don't want to pay me. And so, ladies and gentlemen, do not be like my brother, okay? You have the ability to write your own, as we talked about before, you have the right to grow your own money tree. Money is there, ladies and gentlemen. You have to water it. If you want to make a lot of money, and we all know, listen, as a person who drove a truck for a long time, you're never gonna become a millionaire driving a truck. Just driving one truck. I don't care if you own the truck, you outright out and out paid for the truck. You're never going to get just, you can make a decent living. Don't get me wrong, but you have to like start trying to create a whole trucking fleet if you want to see a lot of money. You have to figure that part out. And so I say all that to say, ladies and gentlemen, you can make plenty of money. You can grow your own money tree, but you have to sit back, you have to think, and you have to say, what can I do? What are my goals? What are my dreams? What are my hopes? What are my wishes? What are my talents, and how do I use those? How do I pursue those? How do I go about it? It's not the most difficult thing. A lot of times, a lot of us, we never make the attempt. So you have to make the attempt. Okay, you have to say, hey, what do I want to do? Where is this going to lead me? Now, me myself, I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I prayed and I said, and I asked God. I said, and listen, I know a lot of times people that are religious, they like to. I don't know. It's this thing. Me and my cousin had this. My cousin said this guy, he went to this wedding, and he said God tapped him on the shoulder. This guy said God tapped him on the shoulder and said, "That's the one for you." Now God has never tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you better go do that right there." But I feel that when I pray, and when I pray more, and when I just sit back and use my own thoughts, that things start to happen. And I feel like, no, God is not tapping me on the shoulder saying, hey, you need to start writing. I know that I like to write, and as I told you before, a long time ago, this lady said, oh, you're pretty good at writing, you should keep doing it. And listen, you can always get better at writing, you can get better at anything, but you have to actually do it. Okay. And so I've been doing it for a while now. I've been writing, and now we are in the process of calling people, sending out mail, sending out flyers, sending out postcards. Hey, copywriting, you need copywriting services, blah blah blah. All that stuff. So we are in the process of maximizing the talent that I believe that God has given me. I never thought I would be broadcasting, doing a podcast, uploading, but it was just one day I just said, you know what? I think I can do it. I think I can be good at it. We're just gonna start trying. And at first, I was terrible. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you ever want to go back? If you if you ever need a measurement, if you ever want a judgment of yourself, you think, man, this is bad. Go back, listen to the first episode ever. Matter of fact, I have one show that I have in my phone that I don't think I've ever released, and it was it's the real first episode. It is so bad. One of these days, I might release it, but not not now. But the first episode of this show, I have. You can go back, you can listen to it. You can hear all the all the ahs, all the I don't, it's not good. But we worked on it. We've been working on it. We've been working on it. We've been working on it. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you the other day, every more and more people know that I have a podcast in my personal life. Because before, as I told you, this is just something to start doing, to start creating content, and to start marketing myself, and to inspire others. And I hope we have done that. But I say all that to say, ladies and gentlemen, no matter what you want to do, no matter what you want to pursue, you have to actually go out and start trying it. Okay, we are not, people get so bogged down with the job and with the minutia of work that they don't realize, hey man, working at a job is cool for a little while, but eventually, if you say, no, I don't, I want something different in my life. Hey, start the pursuit. Okay, if you want to try something new, start the pursuit. You can still work the job, but you can start pursuing. Don't get into the habit of, you work, and then you try to escape your life, escape the job and all that. Don't do that. You get off work. Hey, hey, record. Hey, paint. Hey, draw. Do whatever. Do the necessary things that you need to do to actually get these talents off the ground. Okay, and see where it can lead you. See if the purpose that you want is the right thing for you. Everything that you try is not going to work. We all know that, but there is something there is something you can double, triple your talent. Okay, and but at the end of the day, we you'd rather hear good good job, well done, good and faithful servant, than hear that you're a sloth. Okay, you're lazy, you're trifling, you never cashed in on your potential. Okay, you don't want that. Try, you know, work your talent as much as you can. Okay, do not be the first two guys. Don't be the last guy. Okay, or be the first two girls. Don't be the last girl. However you want to set it up. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it. And you can find the story of the parable of the talents in the book of Matthew. Okay. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We'll be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. God bless each and every one of you. And as always, everybody, peace.